more than just singular pattern from just a single flower. That's why I feel about them as being not just linear in what they do, like a flower would do, and I feel that that's probably where their multidimensional component come into play.
When you mentioned that in the flower essence, it will bring forth what it is that you're supposed to be dealing with at that time and much faster. So it's just, could you talk a little bit more
How
about
it works?
Yeah, how that works.
Well, it's, if you think about frequency, if you think about music, sound, you bring in a high C and a low C. If you bring them together, if you sound them together, resonate them together at the same time, eventually you're not going to really hear the low C very much. The vibration, the frequency of the high C is going to sort of take over, right? So if I think of a contraction or a block energetically, wherever it is, it has a very low, dense frequency. Sometimes it doesn't move. That's why it's called a block. And so when you bring in a block and you bring in a high frequency, like the essences bring in, or you bring in a healer, or you bring in any form of high frequency, and you bring it close to the low frequency, enough times it's going to break through that dense contraction. And in the process of breaking it through, whatever issue, whatever memory, whatever pattern is in there is going to come up. And so if you're really working with it, you're going to see it. And if your intent is to get into it, again, the flower essence or these nature essences are going to catalyze the process for you. It'll be your own process. It's going to work with your own will. Does that make sense? Through the process of resonance, of frequency, bringing in really high frequency and to assist you in bringing balance to where these chakras or processes you're going through are out of balance or blocked. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Or bring in maybe more questions?
Digesting.
Digesting.
We are an accumulation of thousands of different frequencies. And it is our own body that constantly wants to vibrate at a higher frequency. And we do this through our thoughts, our patterns, our presence, our exercise, the food that we eat, the crystals and the nature essences, the colors that we put around us. Everything about what we do is an intent set to have a higher frequency. And as you have the higher frequencies, music can do that. Yes. Music transcends you into different frequencies. And that's when you get lighter, easier, when your organs are singing and dancing and your thoughts are at higher frequencies. And I use an expression, when lower vibrations just don't even show up on my radar screen, if I'm vibrating in all aspects at a high frequency, I won't even hear someone's judgment. I won't hear a negative thought. They might be saying it, but it doesn't even resonate with me because it's at a frequency below where I am. So that is actually what you want to be doing all the time, is setting the intent to raise your frequency in all aspects. And it's not just about positive thought. There are all kinds of tools that you can use, and you'll feel lighter, breezier, happier. Solutions will come easier. Life will feel like less of a struggle. Things just come cognitively easier. Your brain can actually get into a gamma cycle faster. We're in a beta right now. We're just talking. Some of you are in an alpha. Some of you are sleeping off a little bit. But most of us are in a beta brainwave. But when you resonate at higher frequencies, you can get your brain to go into a gamma a little bit faster, and all of a sudden you're thinking faster and solutions are coming clearer, and all of a sudden things just seem really easy. So we always wanted to strive to be at the higher frequency in every way.
I have a quick question. What I've always wondered is that, if a person vibrates at a very high frequency and you're around people that resonate, vibrate at a very low frequency, is it that, they want the higher frequency, or can it push them away because it's too overbearing? I can never figure that out.
Me too.
But it's actually both.
I would imagine so.
If you're resonating at a very high frequency, and someone comes around and they're at a lower frequency, one of two things must happen. When you resonate at a higher frequency, you send out an invitation for them to rise up to your frequency, and they will either start doing it. So, as a silly example, if somebody's gossiping, and gossip really is jealousy and insecurity and resentment, so it has a low vibrational frequency of emotions. So if someone walks in the room and they start gossiping, you have an invitation to join them and to say, yeah, or to just simply look at them and smile and nod as they talk, and give them support that they need to vent. But if you just sit there and smile at them and just sort of pat them on the shoulder, then you haven't actually lowered your frequency. It will not take them long to notice that you aren't joining in. And they will either change the subject to something of a higher frequency. Oh, did you watch that beautiful movie the other day? Or have you noticed we got that project done really well? And they will then rise to your vibration. Or if they can't, if they're stuck in that lower vibration and they just need to be in that, they will go find somebody else who will listen to them, who will join them.
Yeah.
So either one will happen. They'll either rise to your vibration, or they'll walk away and find somebody else. And when I do counseling sessions, one of the most interesting things is when I work with married couples, and they start coming in and they'll say, well, it's the he said, she said kind of thing. And the first thing I tell them is first of all, we start seeing you separately, because there's never anything wrong with the relationship. It's the vibration of the two people that are in it. And I work with them separately, and it doesn't even really matter if both of them come in. I only need to see one of them, because I only need to get one of them to raise their vibration. And the other one will either rise up with them. Usually the one that comes is the one who's interested in having their vibration raised. And the spouse, whether it's the husband or the wife, they don't even need to come, because the new behavior of the spouse who's coming will set the higher vibration standard or bar, and the other spouse, they will either move out of their energy field or they'll join them. And it's actually that easy.
Okay. Yeah.
So good question.
Good question.
Thank you.
I was thinking it too. I was like, didn't know how to ask.
And they're just vibrational frequencies. The higher one always is more attractive. That's why I said you will go towards the crystals and towards the nature essences and towards the people, towards the music. There are certain songs that you play, you just naturally go towards them.
So if love is like my favorite space, and I just recently got more green for my bedroom, and I'm definitely attracting people that are with the whole love, needing love, or like going love, or just wanting love, or needing love, which I need more love oil. So that's where I want to stay in the love chakra, because that's who I am.
So you're setting the intention of being
a
in
loving
that
human,
vibration.
Yet there's a weakness that I have emotionally. Sometimes, it's like your students, or people that come to you, I don't always have an easy time letting go, or I personally get attached to. So are there oils or things that we can do so that it flows? Because I get stuck with, my own
Well,
personal...
you're already setting the intention by verbalizing it, by choosing to make changes, by wearing the clothes, by now seeking nature essences, or by wearing crystals. You're setting the intention that you want to raise your vibration
Not
in
being
that
so
respect.
needy or
And
feel
now
needy
you're
or
going to
be
start
needy.
finding the tools that will support that intention.
Can't something? Everything is in constant flow too. One cannot just always. I mean, it's like I think there was a quote from Rumi that talks about, you have to, like the heartbeat. There's a time for contraction. There is a time for rest, and there is a time for release. And so we can't always want just the high vibration too, because we'd
I
be
think I love the high vibration.
We're not able to function.
I know.
But I think my view on it is it's important to be with the flow. Whatever comes up, be with and be aware of what's happening, so that if you don't feel it's resonating with what you want to, then you can change it. But it will always change. I think it's hard to just stay always a open heart, or always...
Yeah, even someone said to me last week, you're